In the last section, we talked about ratios, and ratios were things that compared items with the exact same units. Now, in this section, we're going to be talking about rates, and rates are comparisons of items with different units. It's basically the same thing, where we are comparing things and we're using a fraction in order to compare it, but it's called a ratio if the units are the same, a rate if the units are different. Now, here we had something like what we did in the last lessons, where we had comparing 8 feet to 7 feet, and we wrote it as 8 feet on top and 7 feet on bottom in a fractional format. Now, we said we could simplify if possible, so if the 8 and the 7 had something in common, then we could have canceled out. We didn't talk so much about the units at that time, but it works the same way as canceling out a common factor number-wise. Since they both have feet on top and bottom, we can cancel those common units, and that's why it's simplified to just simply 8 over 7. Now, when we're dealing with rates, we're not going to be able to do that because they'll be different units. So let's say that we talk about walking 24 miles in 10 hours. We would have to call it a rate because those units are different. We're talking about miles compared to hours. So that's automatically what makes it a rate. But we're going to do this in the same way. We're going to write this as 24 miles compared to 10 hours. But we would need to simplify that. Now, here in our numbers, they have a 2 in common. So 2 will go into 24 12 times, and 2 will go into 10 5 times, so that reduces to 12 over 5. But our units cannot cancel because they are not the same thing. So we have to leave it as 12 miles compared to 5 hours, or, just saying 2 is okay. 12 miles to 5 hours, that's our comparison. Okay, let's do a couple of quick examples with this idea before we move forward. Here we have an example, and our directions say write each rate as a fraction in lowest terms. So here we have a comparison of 10 cups for 6 people. So we're going to write that first as 10 cups compared to 6 people. Now we know this is a rate because our units are different, but we can see if we can simplify it. So for the 10 and the 2, they have a common factor, 10 and the 6, they have a common factor of 2. So we could go ahead and we could cancel that out, top and bottom. So 2 goes into 10 5 times, and 2 goes into 6 3 times. Now we can't cancel our units, of course, because those are different units. So we could simplify this as 5 cups to 3 people. And that would be our simplified rate. Now here we have one that says $12 for 30 pens. So again, we're going to write this as our rate, $12, oops, that's not very pretty, compared to 30 pens. Now we have money compared to pens, so that's what makes this a rate since those units are different. But we can do some simplifying. Here we have a 12 on top, and we have a 30 on bottom, and 3 will go into, sorry, not 3, 6 will go into both of those. Actually, 3 would go into both of them. But the largest thing that will go into the top and the bottom would be a 6. So 6 goes into 12 2 times, 6 goes into 30 5 times. So if I were going to reduce that down and write it in simplest form, it would be $2 for 5 pens. That would be our comparison or our rate.